You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Next, featuring intimate and in-depth interviews with Black Hollywood's next edition of stars and influencers. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, next.
Hello. Welcome to Black Hollywood Live. Happy Friday, TGIF,
What?
right, guys? Yeah. I'm your host, Jessica King, also the producer of Fox's hit show, Dish Nation. Check it out. I am joined by my lovely co-host, comedian extraordinaire, Megan Thomas.
Boom!
Gotcha. Nick Perdue.
Some random guy sitting next to his computer. Sure,
Alright, it's alright.
And the wonderful, the beautiful, the lovely Megan Thomas.
Thank you kindly, my dear. You're welcome.
And we have a very special guest today. He is the hit TV show for OWN, the haves and the have-nots. You may have recognized him as Benny Young. We have Tyler Lepley.
Yay! Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Also known as Tyler Biceps.
Right?
Apparently.
Can we just call you Biceps for the
No.
rest of
You can't call me biceps, all right?
All right, well, let's jump right in. I mean, clearly you are very athletic. And you
Played
were
some sports here and there when I was growing up, yeah.
a little bit. You
Yeah.
dabbled. 3 sports star, Central Bucks High School. You played
Central Bucks West, yep.
basketball, track, football.
Foosball.
You know, just a little bit.
All that, yeah. I had to give up the basketball and the track when I started getting serious with football. I got a scholarship to actually play at Kutztown University, so
Yeah.
yeah. It was
So
only one
What
sport
did you
You're
left.
play?
like
What position
decent.
did you play?
Tailback, running
Okay.
back,
Okay.
yeah.
So as you mentioned, you did get your scholarship to Kutztown.
I did.
And had a little altercation.
I did, yeah.
And you got kicked off the team. What was that experience like for you, especially as a teenager?
What was the experience of being kicked off of the football team like? Well, it wasn't fun. At the time, it was very serious at the time. It was a very difficult period in my life for me to be in because, at 20 years old, I found myself running the campus. You know what I mean? I had, a 200-yard, 3-touchdown game. Would come back to my room and there might be some people in the room waiting for me. There might be some girls waiting for me.
Oh.
Like Varsity Blues type
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? I've been all up in the bar when I was 19. Like everyone knew who I was, but I wasn't supposed to be there. But I got all this power from playing football. You know what I mean? You see these kids nowadays, and mine was even a Division II. I mean, you see it like that times 10 with like a Johnny Football, or Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Right? People are all over them. You get these kids that are thrust into these huge, powerful positions because you're in the spotlight, so to seem. So when I got humbled, if you will, it was a huge lesson for me. At the time, everything seemed stacked against me. I was in a lot of trouble with the law, and it ended up being like a slap on the wrist through the eyes of the law. There's no felonies or anything like that. A bunch of fines. Couple summary offenses, which are like more fines, stuff like that. But for me, what it taught me is just how quickly you can be humbled. And I think it helped me out and really prepared me for what I'm about to go into life right now, because that was, that was baby power compared to what I'm about to have, what I have now. I mean, you're talking about a small 11,000 person school, and now, being on something where the whole world sees you. So it's like, it was definitely a learning lesson for me. I definitely don't think I'd be where I'm at right now if I didn't learn that lesson.
Yeah, it was a eye-opener.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're pretty close with your parents, right?
I am very close to my parents.
How did they handle the situation?
It was really hard for them. Again, it was the first time I had ever been in trouble. So, you know what? They didn't really. It's almost like it was uncharted territory. I mean, yeah, they're there to support you, but at the end of the day, I mean, you can be a big boy. You're gonna have to get through it by yourself. There's nothing they can really do for me. Yeah. I've never grown up with lots of money or anything given to me. So this was no different. I had a public defender when I was trying to handle all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had to fight my way back into school because they kicked me out of school for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and you could appeal it. And me being a criminal justice major, I know how to fight a case. So I was like playing lawyer for myself, and I went in. I got to cross-examine witnesses, and destroy people's credibility who were saying bad things, and I ended up fighting my way back into school. And then 2 years later, I ended up graduating. So it's a success story if you want to look at it in the whole.
Yeah.
And a lot of people only remember the trouble that I was in, but it's just like anything else. I mean, you have to go through certain things and learn them, the hard way sometimes. I wish I hadn't. I wish I could just listen to my parents and not do the wrong things and just be perfect. But I'm human. I had to learn the hard way, and at least a cool thing about it is the fact that I went through something and did learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a tragedy if you went through this road and didn't
And
learn
kept
from
spiraling.
it, came out and did the same type of thing, because God doesn't have time for that.
Were your parents pretty strict with you growing up?
Not really. I think that's another reason I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
I was the only child, so I was kind of, just like running around getting whatever I want.
You're spoiled. Go ahead and say it. You're spoiled.
Well, sport, like spoiled with love and attention. We didn't have too much money, so it's not like you
Right.
could spoil me with money. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much kind of got my way growing up. My parents didn't really hit me or anything like that. Probably should have smacked me around a little more. But I mean, the one thing that my parents always did give me is lots of love, and through that love, I found my way as a man.
Love is all you need.
Yeah.
Love is all you need. Well, so you were mentioning that you graduated with a criminal justice degree, but after college, like a lot of people, it's a hard time finding a job.
Really hard. Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd be in that position, considering you went to school, graduated, and have a job after? Did it ever cross your mind, like, the trouble that I've gotten into, or the economy or whatever would cause me to not have a job? Did it ever cross your mind?
Not until I graduated. Like, I remember when I graduated, it was really hard for me.
Okay.
When I graduated, I had this degree now. You went to a 4-year school. Everyone said you're supposed to go to school and graduate. That's what, like, the status quo is. I'm the only child, got to do it. So I got out, and it was really strange for me because I have this degree that I can't use now. And it's like, mine's really tricky because I have a criminal justice degree. I'm supposed to be like a lawyer or like doing something in the law. And then, for that realm, you have to have a squeaky clean record. You're going to do something in the law.
Yeah.
You're going to work with like criminals. You can't have been one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was strange because, A, I couldn't use what I had just worked so hard for. And B, I'm thinking like, this is really a slap on the wrist. It's not like I'm a convicted felon. I got a couple like summary offenses, not even that serious. But again, it's not like I'm trying to be, anything besides something in the law. But, this is where God put me. So I'm in this, I was like kind of like stuck in between a rock and a hard place, as they call it. So it was really difficult for me. And I think at the end of the day, being in that situation is what kind of helped me move over here.
Forward, yeah.
Yeah.
And you had to do a couple of odd jobs, like pumping gas, making
Yeah.
sandwiches. What was that time like for you?
That was even more strange because here you got this kid that's a college graduate and making sandwiches.
Right.
And it's, it makes you think a little bit about society and, the way that our education is kind of now depreciated a little bit. You got all these kids with bachelor's degrees that work at McDonald's.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's almost like today the master's was the bachelor's of yesterday. That makes any
Right.
sense. You know what I mean? And it's like you're just SOL if you have a high school diploma. So that was even crazier because, I felt like I had wasted 5 years of education. You know what I mean? I learned a lot, but at the time I felt really confused. But I was really determined. Once I made the decision to come over here, I was very focused and determined. So I didn't care if I had to pump gas or make a sandwich because I knew where I'm going. You know what I mean? I didn't know it,
Right.
but like I have a very strong drive. Like the more we get to know each other in life, you'll see that. But yeah.
But I bet you make a killer sandwich.
Oh, I can
at
make a
home.
sandwich. Yeah, I can make a sandwich. I'll tell you
What's
what.
your special sandwich?
I can make the hell out of a peanut butter and jelly.
You better say crunchy or creamy?
I actually like crunchy.
Yeah, high five.
Okay.
Yes,
High
crunchy
five to the
peanut butter
room.
it is.
Sandwiches at Tyler's house.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you moved out here to LA, right?
Yeah.
And so you were on this quest, yeah, right? Like you were like, what was the quest?
Really
What
just
was the reason?
yeah, like really just the quest because I was getting, you know what? We're not gonna get too deep into it, but I was involved in some silly stuff, right? The one thing about me is, you know, if I'm put in a situation, I understand it. I'm not someone who's gonna like roll over and be like homeless on the street. That's just not me. So if you won't let me get it the right way, I'm gonna get it the wrong way. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get it. The bottom line is, and I was in a place where I was doing that, and I have a very strong sense of like, you know, morality, what's right and wrong. So like I knew it was only a matter of time before I was gonna get in trouble doing what I was doing. And you know, I'd already had a little bit of run-in with the law in the past. I didn't want it to be something that I couldn't bounce back from. You know, you can bounce back from a summary offense. I mean, you start going into like convicted felon, it's kind of like it's hard to bounce back from that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I knew I felt like I had to get out. I had to you know, I call my cousins. You ever have like, you know, your dad's best friend growing up, you know,
Yeah.
you call him
Your
Uncle
play
Mike, it's not
cousins,
really
yeah.
your uncle.
Right.
Because like I had my two cousins, my friends I grew up with, that have actually moved over here and they were boxing. One of them was a personal trainer, but they had been over here, they had made it out of Philly like I wanted to, and they had very similar mindsets and mind frames, and it just seemed like a good team to go like try to start a dynasty with, or try something new. I didn't want to be in this little 9-to-5 gig. Like I didn't want to settle. I felt like I was in like a midlife crisis at age 23, if that even makes any sense. So the quest was just for more. I didn't really know what it was, but I definitely know I didn't want to stay here. So I wasn't going to stay in this little cesspool. I moved over here. Didn't know what I was going to do. I remember asking him all the time, like, how are we going to do it? I was like, I don't know. I was like, all right, well, like, you know, let me just ship my car over and let's just go and we'll just figure it out when we get over there.
Yeah.
So I came over here and I started personal training actually.
But now, was that move scary because you really didn't know what to expect? You know, going across country basically, and so
it's come on, it's super scary, especially for a guy that's like, you know, has a persona like I ain't scared.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's very scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like let's be vulnerable here. It's really scary because the unknown is always scary.
yeah.
You ask someone, what am I going to do when I get there, and they tell you honestly, I don't know.
Right.
I look at my bank account and it's like, all right, I got like $500 to my name. I can ship my car over. I get over there to LA with $500 to my name. I got like a trunk full of clothes, and I can sleep on someone's floor. It's like, all right, now what? Everyone comes over here to do the same thing. At the time, I had no idea of like the industry. I wasn't even thinking about none of that. I was just thinking about like making a good living because you know I was in a place where I was messed up. You know what I mean? So it was definitely really scary. Yeah.
But did you ever think that it would lead into acting?
No.
No.
Maybe like modeling or something, you know, because you know I've grown up and had a certain look my whole life. I could get that, you know what I mean, because and this is nothing against like a model or anything like that, but from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like there's too much to it, right?
Yeah.
You sit there, you look the way you look, they take pictures of you. Maybe something like that. Maybe you're gonna walk down the street, get discovered like that, but never acting, because I'd never done it. So it's like thinking you're gonna be like a horse jockey and never rode a horse. You know what I mean?
Right.
So no, I never thought I would be an actor.
And how many years ago was this happened when you finally came to LA?
2.5 years ago.
Wow.
This just happened. This is fresh. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what did your parents think? You know, moving
Thought I
across
was
the country.
crazy. Absolutely thought I was nuts. It's so crazy because I talk to my dad all the time about it, and like you know he starts getting emotional, and he's like, "Man, I'm so glad you just didn't listen to us," because they were really lobbying me to stay there.
Right.
You know, don't worry about paying rent. You know, my parents love me.
Yeah.
Don't worry about paying rent. You know, if you need a couple extra bucks, like you know, like you could ask us for it, and they don't have any money to give me,
Right.
but they'll do anything for me. And it was it's hard to move away from something like that. You know, I'm the only child here. I have a very strong, relationship with both my parents, but especially my mom. You know, the mother-son thing.
Yeah.
Mama's boy.
Yeah, mama's boy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they really wanted me to stay there, and it's it's the whole bird leaving the nest thing.
Yeah.
You don't, it's just a love thing. They just love me. They just want me to be safe.
So out of all the cities that differ from Philly, I know you mentioned that your cousins were already here, but
Yeah.
why else? Like, why Los Angeles?
Because this is where my support system was at, and that's what was necessary, like in my foundation. I know how, you know what I mean. I know I know like the ins and outs of like building something big, and then you have to have a really strong foundation or the house is gonna fall down.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know anyone anywhere else. Like if they were in Florida, I'd be going to Florida.
Yeah.
So it's like when you start to look at why they were over here, you start to understand like now what the Lord's doing. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they're over here, because I was supposed to come here.
Right. So as you mentioned earlier, you started off as a personal trainer when you first moved out here.
Yeah.
And you were approached by a producer who liked your look and wanted you to audition for this movie. You rarely hear of these stories where
crazy,
people
right?
are approached. It's like, it sounds too good to be true. I can't imagine how awesome that was. Tell us that story. What was that like for you?
I had been out here for like 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
All right.
I had been out here for 3 months, and this dude Charlie, my man Charlie Matera, he had approached me. He was producer of this smaller independent film, like not too much money, low budget, but he was having a really hard time casting this role for this film that he was producing. And on paper, the character was very much like me. You know, my look, my type of feel, you know, everything. So he was like, you know what, why don't you come audition for it? And I'm like, shoot, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I was like, you know, 3 months into it, you know, I always got that hunger for more. And it's like, I'm really present in life. So like, I understand when someone else might not, that this is an opportunity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, something's going on here. Let's go. So I went in there and I was like butchering it. I was so bad. Because I didn't even know what sides were at this point. I didn't know how to like
side of gravy?
Like, what are we even doing here? So like, I kind of just read through it, understood what the gist of it was. I was vibing with my friends, and I kind of started like ad-libbing everything. Everyone in the room was like looking at me like I was nuts. I wasn't following what was going on. But you know, a lot of times when you see a spark in someone, it's like they could be doing 10 things wrong. But you see a spark in someone, it'll have you call them back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I ended up getting a call back for it, and shortly after I booked it. So that was the start of you know, my acting career. So in the future they'll say,
So even though you butchered it, they still wanted
Still
you.
got it, yeah,
How
yeah.
awesome is that?
it's crazy. So I guess in the future they'll say, you know, at some point that I was discovered at a gym.
Yeah. Do you have that in your bio? Discovered
Yeah,
Tyler
right.
Lepley, discovered at a gym.
the gym.
Well, as you had just discussed a little earlier, you know, you had some pretty rough years leading
Yeah.
up to your move.
Yeah.
After you booked this role and worked on this project, was this kind of like a glimmer of hope, you know, that you had something in your future?
Yeah, it definitely was a glimmer of hope, but what it definitely got, at this point in the story, it got confusing. Because, all right, now you have, all right, I did that one. Because I did that one the way I did, you know, he just set me up, I booked it. He set me up on another one, and I booked another one. So at this point, it started to get weird because I did 2 things with no help. So, like, you know, now I'm an actor, but, like, now what? You know what I mean? I don't really know, like, where to go from here. So I started thinking, I innately remembered what my football experience was like. I was really naturally gifted at football, which is why I didn't really work as hard as I should have. A lot of times when you have a natural gift, it's also your curse, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's how football was. Like at the end of the day, I had a failed NFL dream. I failed at it, no matter how you want to look at it. So I didn't want that to happen again. You know, here I was, naturally good at something. I'm booking it by myself, no representation, no acting class, no nothing. I'm just going in there. So at this point, I didn't want to make the same mistake twice, so I started listening to a couple of my friends that were saying, all right, look, you got to go to acting class, you got to get yourself some headshots, you got to get some representation. So slowly but surely, this is what I started to do just that, and apply myself and really just understand what God is putting in front of me. So you can't, you know what I mean? You can't start goofing up opportunity after opportunity because soon there won't be any, you know, and you know, tomorrow's not promised out here, especially in something like this industry. It's so fickle,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I ended up I started to try to do it, you know, for real. Started to try to apply myself at this point, yeah.
Did you have any, well, I would say, since you're mentioning that, did you have any bad habits that resurfaced during this time that kind of tested you? Or were you like, you know what, I'm done with that life.
Yeah.
I'm done with messing up. Now
Yeah.
a whole new side of me is here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like, bad things can happen when you're in bad situations. The reason I needed to leave Philadelphia is because everything around me was bad. You know what I mean? The friends I was hanging out with were doing bad things. I was just I was in a place where they didn't. It's almost like no one. A lot of times people don't even dream over there. It's just like you wake up. It's like it's gloomy. It puts you in a certain feel. Things around me weren't right. So I needed to get out of that situation because if I got out of the situation, I wouldn't need to be dealing with this type of bad things. So as soon as I got out of there, all that stuff stopped. I've never been in trouble since I left Philadelphia. You know what I mean?
Did any of your old friends, some of those bad influences, start popping out of the woodworks after you moved here and started seeing some success?
Yeah, a couple of them called me from jail asking for money.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I have friends in doing big boy time right now as we speak. Steven, I just talked to him yesterday actually. Steve Michaels, shout out to Steve. But he'll be out in a couple months. But you know what? It's just really a thing I learned from being around these people is and I call them these people. These are my friends I'm talking about. It's like you know what? Even these criminals, they're good people. They're just making bad decisions.
Yeah.
And in life there's consequences for your decisions. So it's like, if you're gonna make these decisions, you gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people struggle with making a decision that big because it's life changing. So I never really had too much trouble once I got out of there.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And I'm glad you didn't become a statistic.
Yeah.
Which is good.
You know what the statistic is? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be in jail or something.
So now let's kind of go back and talk about your first movie, which was Slumber Party Slaughter.
I'm a party slaughter.
Right, and you were able to work with Tom Sizemore.
I was, yeah.
That was
Tommy.
your first
Tommy,
film.
First film.
So what was that like? Because he's a big name in the game,
he is.
and so working
He's a rock star.
with him, like what was that experience like?
It was cool, and for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, I got to learn a lot. First time being on set, there's a lot of like small things you got to learn. How to slate. What are we gonna do when we start blocking? Just terminology and stuff like that. So, I remember him and Robert Carradine actually took me out for lunch one time, and teaching me the ropes and whatnot. Small things here and there, just lingo and stuff. So it was cool to be able to have a couple mentors.
Yeah.
To try to show you around a little bit as you start going.
Yeah.
And hats off to them because a lot of people aren't like that, and you don't have to be like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take time out and try to school the young ones coming in, because at the end of the day, some people get really like threatened, because this is a very competitive industry. It's almost like I don't want to teach him; he's gonna come try to take my spot. So for them to go ahead and do that speaks volumes on who they are as men and people, and actors, professionals.
I mean, that's amazing. Your mentor, David Carradine, he just took me out for lunch.
He gave me some tips.
Right.
No big deal.
Did you feel like you had to play catch up with the rest of Hollywood, considering you'd never acted before, never taken classes, never did anything in the acting world?
Yeah, I think I did. I think that's why I hit it so hard, like when I hit it, because I felt like I was behind. Anytime you start something new and everyone around you's been doing it forever, as a competitor, innately you're gonna feel like you're behind. So I definitely felt like that, and I think it helped me do it the way I've been doing it. You know what I mean? Put that type of effort into it and not take it for granted and stuff like that. I think that helped all the process.
All right. Well, you are currently starring in OWN's hit, and I emphasize hit,
Right.
TV show, The Haves and the Have-Nots.
Yeah.
You star as Benny Young, but this audition process took 4 months.
Long time, yeah.
That, tell us about the process.
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest difference between something like a Slumber Party Slaughter, which is an independent film, and something like a Baggage Claim, which is a studio-backed movie, or The Have-Nots, which is a studio-backed or a network-backed television show, is like the process. I was able to book Slumber Party Slaughter in two visits. You get your audition, you get a call back. From there, you kind of book it. Maybe a producer session, if it's bigger or something like that. But when you start to deal with studios or networks, you have what's called screen testing. So I probably had, through that 4-month process, probably saw them about 6 times. Because I had auditioned for both shows, The Have-Nots and Love Thy Neighbor. He was creating 2 at the same time. I did well with both of them, so I got the screen test for both of them. That's when Tyler and everyone from Tyler Perry Studios will fly to wherever you're at or have you flown there, and they come watch the best of the best now. All right, that went well, and Then we had another audition. Then they wanted to see. They wanted to have another screen test in Atlanta. So now they flew us all over there. So like the whole process was about 4 months, and I saw him about 5 or 6 times.
And you had to do one of those auditions in front of Tyler?
2 of them in front of Tyler. Yeah.
Were you nervous?
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, first of all, you have to
gosh,
understand,
I would
yo, first of all, the dude's 6'6".
Yeah, he's
Right.
tall
Tyler's
guy.
big.
Yeah.
And and you don't know him at this point. Like after you know him, you know he's a real genuine sweet person. But you walk in 6'6", stone cold, stone face. He's very intimidating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when there's no one there, it's just him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was like, it was definitely very intimidating to go ahead and do it in front of Mr. Perry.
Is that what you called him, Mr. Perry?
Mr. Perry, yeah, TC, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Clearly you killed it. How do you survive the aftermath of an audition, especially one that grueling throughout that whole process and all
I
the
gotta get
anxiety that comes with it?
Well, I was all right. By this point, where are we at? This is like 6 months ago. I'm like a year and a half into it. At this point, it's like I'm just coming for anything. If it's not this, first of all, I understand what the Lord's doing now, right? So if it's not this one, it's going to be the next one. And if it's not that one, it's for a reason. If it's this one, it's for a reason. I was at the point now where, and I got representation at this point. I was at the point where my representation is now sending me out a few times a week, several times a week. So you're getting a good amount of opportunities, right?
Yeah.
It's like a jump shot on the court. So if I'm like a young Jordan, Jordan got cut from his first team.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I'm a young Jordan out here. And it's like I'm shooting these shots. Some are airballing, some are bricking, some are just dribbling in, rimming out. Like I'm going to hit one of these jump shots.
Yeah.
So it was to the point where it's like, after these auditions, I don't really get nervous. I'm going right to the next thing. I remember when I got back from the screen test in Atlanta, when I got the call, I was in the middle of like going to another audition. I was so hungry that there was no room for like anxiety or anything like that. So I didn't really feel like nervous after it because I was so focused on it. It's almost like a tunnel vision. I don't even see anything else. Yeah, it was crazy. I wasn't even feeling none of that.
I love your mindset.
I know, right?
So
Yeah.
inspiring.
And the sports analogies.
Yeah. That's great.
Now, one nice thing I know that you said in recent interviews is that, especially on your show, that a lot of the actors and even Tyler Perry and them, like they kind of check their ego at the door.
For sure.
And so do you think that helps really, create a culture and a real strong atmosphere and the camaraderie just kind of with you and the cast and the crew?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the reason for it, and it really all starts with Tyler. When you got such a solid North Star, if you have someone like Tyler Perry who's worth close to $1 billion, checking his ego at the door, as humble as can be, leading every morning with a prayer. I mean, it's like you better shut up and check your ego at the door.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like it really is just a trickle-down effect. So, everyone is like that. That's really the first thing I always notice. Like every time I go on set, it's just the energy. You can get anyone there to read lines with you. You can get anything from anyone there because everyone is really genuine. And, it's a big thing that is based in Atlanta, I think. Over here in LA, it's like, I don't know, something about over here makes people just not genuine.
It's the water.
It's the water, sun and the water.
Definitely the water.
All that
It's the
Evian.
sunshine.
So everyone is really cool over there and is so far from like egotistical that it's really a good team and solid foundation to be a part of.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, since its debut in 2011, OWN has kind of struggled to build its ratings. But then your show comes along. You guys are just killing records all over the place, including becoming one of OWN's highest or the highest rated series premiere with 1.77 million viewers.
And finished off, the finale had like 2.7.
Even more,
Yeah.
right.
So
You guys are
Strong.
killing it out there.
Yeah.
Do you think that your show was just what the network needed?
it's definitely one of the things that the network needed. I mean, I think that there's lots of things that you can need anytime you start anything that's new.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's her first time having a network. I mean, it's a really big deal. It's not like owning a car. You know what I mean? So, there's going to be a lot of things that you need with it. One of the first thing that you need is something that's going to get your ratings up, the viewers up. So it was so cool to watch her. She didn't bring Tyler Perry on board. Tyler owns a piece of the network,
Right.
right? So it was really cool to watch them collaborate because she put a lot of trust into Tyler, because she collaborated with Tyler so he could use his expertise and create some shows to get the viewings up, and that's exactly what he did. So it was great to be able to watch them collaborate and go ahead and do that, because that's definitely one of the things that she needs. Just more of the same thing, and I'm sure it's going to be a hit, just like your TV show was, just like anything else she does in life is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in past interviews, you've described the show as a sexy drama that pushes boundaries.
Yeah, it does.
Do you think that OWN needs more shows like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that being dynamic and diverse in anything you do is great. So especially with something that people are watching, because there's so many different demographics. Our show was great for like, what's our target audience? Black women in between 25 and 55. It's like the #1 show.
Right.
So it's like, you know what? You got 100% of the crowd. We just sectioned off 25% of it. Bang, lit all 25% on fire. All right, so we got 75% left. All right, so we're gonna have to get this. Shoot that demographic now. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's definitely one of the things that it needed. I think that with it being so new, of course there's more things that it needs, but that will happen eventually. And these are great television and just great minds, period, that are putting this together. So I have no doubt in my mind that they'll get everything they need.
Right.
Yeah.
So with this being Tyler's first scripted drama series and Oprah's first series for OWN, first scripted series for OWN, did you guys feel any added pressure
Oh yeah.
for it to succeed?
Yeah. Because like you said, it's the first of both worlds for both of them. His first television drama series, her first scripted series. He's changing homes. He's going from TBS to Oprah Winfrey Network now. So there's a lot of firsts involved with it, and there's a lot of money put behind it. So it's like, anytime you're dropping a lot of money, it's like, I'm gonna bite my nails, even quicker now. So there was a lot of pressure to it. That's why it's so mind blowing, the success that it's had.
Yeah.
Because the chips were kind of. I'm not gonna say they're stacked against you, because again, you're talking about Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey here, so they can really get through anything. But the chips are a little bit stacked against you, and they hit a grand slam out of the park.
Yeah, that they did.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Followed up with 20 episodes, and so we're leaving next week to go back down to shoot the next season.
Oh, we got you right before
Congrats.
you go.
Right.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So now, what do you hope to see happen with Benny's character?
I really want Benny's character to start opening up the way I know people pushed to the brink open up. I'm one of these people that's backed into a corner. You got the dog that you've raised since it's been a baby, and you back into a corner. Eventually, it's gonna bite you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like Benny is, he's the glue to his family, right? He's always trying to do the right thing. You got Candace is going crazy. My mom's working. Don't want to see that. So this push-pull between them, I'm always getting caught up, though. As a nice guy who's always taking the fall, that's only going to be able to happen so much before you see someone snap. You know what I mean? And you have to think about, as you watch Candace, Tika Sumpter's character, we all talk about where we come from in this story. The have-nots. Like, she talks about seeing death and this and that. Okay, well, Benny grew up in the same household. Right, Benny's very capable of snapping, just like Candace is. Just a little more mature and understands the consequence. So you get booked with 2 keys in your car and it's not yours, and you just get out and you get run over by a car. Yeah. You got all these bills. I'm probably not going to be nice when I wake up. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm definitely eager to see Benny grow as a person. And just expand as a person, just like we all do in life as individuals.
Yeah, now, which one of your castmates do you think is most like their character?
Who's most like their character?
And who's least like their character?
You know who's least like their character? Is actually, I think, now of course there's parts of her that is like this, right? I'm sure. And I don't know her that well. But Tika's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, she's very manipulative on the show, and she's raising hell on the show.
Yeah.
She's so sweet in real life. So she's probably the least like her character, even though she's killing her character.
Right.
Who's most like it? It's probably It's probably my mom, the woman who plays my mom, because she's just as sweet as she is in real life as she is on the show. And I would just say my answer is a lot because a lot of people aren't like they are in real life on the show. You know, Wyatt's not a drug addict. Gavin, who plays Jeffrey, is not gay in real life. You know, Renee, who plays Catherine, doesn't have a serious drinking problem in real life.
Great actors.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so all these people are really good actors. So yeah, those two are probably the most and least liked the character.
Okay. Well, we just want to say thank you. See, I want to say thank you on behalf of all of your fans for Benny being shirtless on the very first episode.
Yeah.
That's one way to set up the entire season. Two-part question. Number one, if you would like to show your abs, go ahead.
Feel free.
You know, we're not going to stop you.
Nick especially is excited.
No, I'm gonna look over. It's not.
I know. But then the other part is you're a gym rat, right? So
Yeah.
and, you know you're a personal trainer. Do you feel any pressure, any added pressure to keep it tight, keep it right, since everybody's looking at your physique?
Yeah, I mean for sure, especially because right now, this is another situation I've been running into. Anyone that wants to watch me for any reason, I take as support. I don't get mad if someone says, you know what, you're a great actor, but you look like hell. Well, you know what, you watched it and you like my character, thank you. If someone says, you can't act, but damn it, you're easy on my eyes, I'm gonna watch you. And it's like, you know what, that's great. That's
Say that so confidently.
No, I said both
just
sides of the spectrum.
I'm just
But either or, I take it all as support, and I don't take any hard feelings to it. So like with that being said, I've had some people that really haven't said anything about my acting, just are focused on like what I look like, and it's flattering, it's great, I love it. But with people looking at you, yeah, of course there's some added pressure. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like I'm around a bunch of like Joe Schmoes. You know what I mean? Aaron's like a GQ supermodel. Like
Right.
before the show, Gavin is also a personal trainer, has great physique,
Right.
So everyone on the show is great looking. So of course there's added pressure. You don't want to show up with this with this flab. You know what I mean?
All right.
This
So
flab.
yeah, it's definitely added pressure.
It's okay. It's
and
okay.
since the last show, I'm coming back with a vengeance. All right, last season when you see me without my shirt, I was like 208. I was like 208. I was like 210. Okay, I'm pushing 222 right now.
Oh,
All right,
snap.
so Benny, go ahead. Benny threw on some weight.
Benny
But-
Bicep.
Yeah, Benny bicep.
You gotta throw that in
Benny
there.
tricep,
that was a
Benny all
two-part
that.
question. Though.
What was the second part?
Oh, the first question was about your abs.
Oh, okay.
It's
What?
more of a statement.
It was a statement. What about my abs?
You're more than welcome to show them.
Oh, so this is a question now. Do I want to show my
No,
abs?
no, it wasn't a question. It was a
Okay, so you're
statement.
telling me to show my abs to you.
Yes.
Okay, so once we wrap
Give
this
us
up.
a sneak peek of Benny season 2.
There you
Okay,
go.
so once we wrap
for your
up.
fans.
Yeah,
This
for the
is
fans.
your
For the fans, right? So he's like, please stop. Okay, well after this, I guess we'll exchange contact info. Maybe I'll
Oh,
get
the
you.
No, but
Show you my
fans.
abs.
What about the fans?
Oh, it's
You
for the
can't leave
fans
them
now.
hanging.
Okay.
What can they expect from
Okay.
Benny's abs?
Well, all you gotta do is follow me on Instagram at Tyler Lepley, and I got a couple pictures of my abs, so y'all can keep up with me.
Do your
know,
abs have
There
a
you
Twitter
go. Do
account?
that.
No, I have to have a Twitter account. Not yet.
Oh, kidding.
Yeah,
You know,
so-
I understand. It's tough being an international sex symbol. I get the same thing.
Nick, you
I
were the one that
understand.
told us to ask him to show his
See,
abs.
See, she's funny. She
Come
got
on.
jokes, right?
See, this is what I had to deal with on Friday.
We
This is
keep things
crazy.
entertaining. All right. I guess we'll give you a break on that one, but maybe after we will take you up on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tyler Perry. Obviously, he's a huge media giant. He's been extremely
Yeah, he's a beast.
successful in this industry, to say the least. What have you learned from working with him?
So much. You know what, Tyler? First of all, I've learned so much from him as an actor. Only being 2 years into the game, to be able to go down there and be underneath, a deadline like that. We shoot an episode, pretty much like an episode a day.
Oh, wow.
Maybe sometimes 2 days, depending if we're getting or reshooting or something. But that's really quick. I remember I
Yeah.
did an episode of 90210, and it took about 8 days to film one episode.
Just one, yeah.
So that shows you how quick we move.
Right.
So being under that type of stress or duress or whatever the word would be, you learn on your feet, so you learn really quick. I learned so much as an actor from him. But as we all have seen in his past, he likes to break fresh faces, right? Me being one of them. he takes a lot of time outside of set to talk with you about what this journey is now going to be like. You know, you're gonna get a little bit of money now. You know, you're gonna have people are gonna start recognizing you. You know, you're gonna have the girls gonna want to get a little something. You know, your family's gonna start going nuts. What are you gonna like? You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna act? So, I've learned a lot from him more as a person actually, and how to deal with this onslaught of whatever you would like to call it. You know, breaking into this industry, really than I have as an actor, and I've learned so much as an actor. So when you combine the two, I mean, I've just learned so much from Tyler in the last year of being around him. You know, he's really grown more from like a boss into, you know, a mentor, and really as a friend now. You know what I'm saying? Tyler's my friend.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that
it's
he
real cool.
I know, like
sits you guys down like that.
Right. You have like the most amazing mentors and stories, and like, you know, some people have to go to school for years and years and years.
Yeah.
You're getting the training that people are paying for.
Yeah,
like,
paying for it. Yeah,
man,
it's
amazing.
crazy. Yeah, it's real. And you know what? It's really it all goes back to what God is doing. You know, I don't want to sit here and like beat it over the head or sound like I'm talking in a sound bite. But it's like, you know what? Once I book the job, sometimes I'll sit and I'll think about everything that it took to get here. And it's not until I look at the whole thing, and I'm far from done. I'm only 26. But like I look at this last 2 years, and even like the last 4 years, going through the football, going through everything, God has put so many clues along the way that like I'm just starting to now get. I remember when I first moved here, I wasn't even acting yet. Someone at the gym, I was working them out. Her name was Julia, and she was like, "Have you ever like thought about acting?" I was like, "Nah." She's like, "Wow, like you should do like a Tyler Perry film. You'd be like really good in like a Tyler Perry film." And this is like, you know, I didn't even like remember that till I had booked it. You know what I mean? So it's like to see how it really has all come along like that. Yeah, it's just this is God's work right now. So I can't take too much credit for it.
All right, hallelujah.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
There you go. There you go. Well, speaking of it, you know, I know many people would love to be in your shoes right now, you know, on a hit TV show, you know, a hit Tyler Perry TV show. So when people ask you how you got the role and how you booked the role, like, what do you tell them?
Well, going back to the first part of what you said, a lot of people want to be where I'm at right now. Yeah. And they want to be where I was at 5 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, not rarely in life do you get handed something like this. You know what I mean? You have to kind of find your way to it. But you know, when people see where I'm at and they say they, you know, they want to have my life or they want to be where I'm at right now, what do I say to them was the question, right?
Yeah.
I say to them that, you know, first of all, this isn't given. You have to really be able to work for it. You got to have really thick skin. You know, how many no's are you going to hear before you hear yes?
Right.
A lot. So, you know, I really urge people to really double think, is this what you really want to do? Now, if it is what you want to do, you have to be willing to cast everything aside and go after it, because everyone's going to tell you you're stupid, first of all. No one, I mean, yeah, you're going to have a couple people that will support you. Yeah, there's a couple loved ones in your life. Yeah, you know, my parents supported me. They said they loved me. Did they really get it and understand it? Not really. You know, trying to get me to move back home, or, you know, you got a friend. You know, I had a friend, still my friend, but I remember when I was in this focused mode, I had this personal training business, because even throughout all this, still got to keep food on the table.
Yeah.
So I had like enough money for rent. I had enough money for my electric to keep the lights on. I didn't even have a car at this point. And I had enough money for my acting class. And like, that's all I was spending my money on. I remember one time I had a phone bill that was due. It was like something stupid, like $70. And I didn't have the money to pay it. But I had money to go to my acting class. Like, I could have easily dipped into my acting class and paid this, and I didn't do it. And I remember I was talking about, like, you know, in the acting class, I got this audition. Like, I booked this. I'm all right, if I book this, I'm going to get that. Like, all right, here we go. I'm starting again. I have my friends talking to me. And he's like, yo, bro, like, why are you, like, worried about that? Like, bro, you can't even pay your phone bill. Like, you probably just pay your phone bill. And I was like a part of me, the part of me that was listening to him was like, you know what? Like, you're right. I should probably just pay this phone bill. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even have a phone. Talking about going to class. But, like, the majority that didn't listen to me, the same majority that is, like, here now, the tunnel vision part of me was like, you know what? I'm not listening to you right now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, and that's where you have to get here. So you have to really, if this is what you really want, you have to understand you might have to, you know, grow away from some of these people. You can love some of these people from a distance.
Right.
You got to start cutting people out of your life that sends the wrong message. But it's like, you know what? If you're not down with this movement, you cannot be on this boat. If I have to roll it by myself, I'm gonna roll it by myself, so be it. And if I'm gonna drown, it's gonna be me in the box when I'm in the coffin. You know what I mean? So to these people, I really urge you to be serious about it. Really have a drive. Do not half-ass it. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna end up like 90% of these other actors out here that's not working, or you find them on Skid Row or something like that. And God bless to everyone, but a lot of those people are people that moved out here with the dream, and are too stubborn to go back to it. But I'm the same way. If this all was over tomorrow, I would thank God. I would go down fighting out here. There's no way I'd move back. I'd be dead out here.
Yeah. So did you, or were you a fan of Tyler Perry, or were you familiar with his work prior to working on the show?
Yeah, I was really familiar with his work. I wouldn't say I watched a whole lot of it besides the Medea stuff. I thought Medea was so funny.
Yeah.
So, anytime the Medea films were on, I would always watch that because I just thought they were so funny. But I was definitely familiar with his work. I mean, at the end of the day, he's on the cover of Forbes.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're looking at a businessman, you don't even have to be in the movies or television realm. If you want to be a successful businessman, he is a hell of a mentor or an example to try to follow. So for sure, definitely knew all about Tyler Perry.
Okay. Well, you got your first big movie in Black Hollywood coming up, Baggage Claim, out in theaters September 27th. Make sure you support that. But you were on the set with Paula Patton, Taye Diggs, Boris Kodjoe, Jill Scott, Adam Brody, Jaimin Hansen, Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley.
This is crazy that you have so many people in Black Hollywood that are on this movie. What was that like for you, working on set with them?
It was big. I actually did this before I did The Haves and the Have-Nots.
Okay.
So this was like the first.
Oh, wow, it was a while ago.
This was a while ago, yeah. So this was like the first time. And that's where you get to kind of see the turnover rate. Tyler Perry's like, he shoots it, chops it up, and distributes it like real quick.
Yeah.
A normal turnaround time for like this film was probably like a year. Mm-hmm. So I actually did this way before I did the show.
Okay.
But that was probably the first time. That was the first time I got on set, and it was like star-studded. All these, great actors that you just mentioned. So they actually, for the most part, had their egos checked as well. I mean, I had conversations with Paul. I had big, long conversations with Taye Diggs. He was really like mentoring me. I remember we had like a 30-minute, because all my scenes are with Paula and Taye Diggs. You would call it like a cameo. What I have,
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, sitting and chatting with Taye Diggs. Man, he took time out. He wanted to know where I was from. He had some advice and knowledge to drop on me. So it's cool anytime you can go, be in a situation like that. And I remember when I ran into Dave, the director, Dave Talbert, for the first time. He was cracking jokes, because everyone said, so silly. Everyone thinks I look like Drake. So, yeah, okay, here we go, right? So, I came in.
You don't want to say it.
He had these Drake jokes. He had everyone rolling. Like, it was really fun. Like, as soon as I got on set, like, everyone was laughing. We had a great time. So it was a very cool atmosphere to work in. And I got to learn, from the greats. So it was like I went in, I did my thing, we had lots of fun, and I learned as much as I could before I bounced out. At the end of the day, you don't want to be one of those cats who's just
overstay your
talking.
welcome.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you got to, at some point, you got to shut up and do your job. So, I mean, my hat's off to the whole cast and, the North Star of that, David Talbert. Actually started out as a book, so it took a long way for him to take that and bring it into this. So it was
Were
cool.
you like starstruck, like, ooh, hey, Paula Patton?
Yeah, right. I was like, hold on, because she's like my ex-girl in the film. I was like, all right, can I get a kiss? You my ex-girl. Tell Robin to like go somewhere else.
Gotta get this chemistry right. Let's get this chemistry.
Robin, don't worry about it. Let me just smooch on your girl real quick.
That's funny. What was your audition process like for this movie?
For this movie, I actually auditioned for a bigger role.
Okay.
Didn't get that role, and a lot of times what happens is like I actually auditioned for Taye Diggs' role. He's a really big role in it, and I didn't end up getting it. And a lot of times when you have these like cameo roles, they'll fill them in with the people that went for the bigger roles. Mm-hmm. So I actually got handed this role, but it was because they watched me audition for like the bigger role, which was cool. So it was quick. It was a one. No, I went in twice. I auditioned for 2 parts, didn't get those parts, but from watching me, I was good enough for them to give me this part. And anything in a movie like this is great. even to just sit there and not speak. I mean, I do speak. I have a couple scenes. But even if I was like an extra, I'd be cool with it. You know, it's cool to just be able to learn from those cats. You know what I'm saying? If you're like Allen Iverson, you know, going to try to learn from Michael Jordan, it's great. It's surreal.
Right. And so then you mentioned the director, the successful playwright, David E. Talbert.
Dave.
He's amazing.
He is. He's a real cool dude too.
What was it like working with him?
It was actually like kind of just like working with it was like working with a friend, man. He was real cool with he was similar to Tyler in asking for your input. You know, what do you think you might say here? So it's like when you got someone that's like that, that's not really like a tyrant bearing down on you to ask for your input. It makes it more comfortable because at this point we're collaborating.
Yeah.
And I'm not just doing what I'm told, which is cool. You know, I'll do what I'm told. You're the boss. I get it. But it's it's a treat. It's special when someone can open up, collaborate with you. And he was very collaborative. So it was really easy going. It was lots of fun. At the end of the day, this is a comedy, so it was lots of fun to work on it.
How was this different? How was working with David different from Tyler?
Probably really just the genres of what I mean between the two men. What's the difference? Is there's more similarities than there are differences.
Okay.
They're both great people, both God-fearing men, both collaborative. Take time off the set to speak with you. Don't make you feel like you're just a day player. Get the hell out of here. Genuine. The difference is probably like the speed of it. We shoot really quick with Tyler, and he even writes some scenes like on the spot. Dave was this started from a book, so there's a lot more time put into it. Like not that there wasn't a lot of time put into the have-nots,
right?
But like he gets the idea. He's on the spot. He's writing it right now, and that's what you saw. That great stuff. That's like the process happens right now, and then it's on it. Dave's process was just a little more meticulous, if you will. People just work at different speeds. One's not better or worse than the other.
Right.
They're just different.
Right.
So his was probably, I think, more of like a longer process.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of TV and films would you like to do in the future?
I think if you look the way, if I would like to like blueprint my career, I would say I want this to do great. I want to exercise all my options. I want to go for all the seasons that we can go. I would like to then maybe do, it's unlike it was in the 90s or the 80s. Television's huge now. They're making great television now. Right. It's great money. I would like to maybe get on, after this is successfully finished, maybe something on like network television, like an ABC, NBC, something like that. Maybe book a pilot and take it that route. In between those, maybe I book a couple commercials here or there, a couple movies. And then I want to start transitioning to making big cinema, big films, and transition into that, movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will probably take me. I want to endorse a couple things. You know what I mean? I have this whole gym thing. That's in the back pocket. I mean, Madonna just like endorsed like a chain of gyms. I know she definitely knows what she's doing working out wise. I mean, she looks great. Yeah. But like I could re-engineer everyone's body inside out in this room. You know what I mean? Because I know exactly what I'm doing. It's like science. I call it body sculpting. You know what I mean? I sculpt your body up. So I mean, that's in the future. That will be there. I mean, you won't see it until my platform is right though. Because like I'm very calculated. I'm a one shot, one kill typer. So like I won't bring that out until it's ready to be displayed. I mean, before all this, I mean, at some point I'm currently working on an EP right now. Before all this, I actually
man of many talents.
Yeah, but it's like, you know what? I understand that you got to water one plant at a time. I'm not going to sit here and try to water all these plants and then complain when they're all only 1 inch off the ground. I'm going to water this one right here, and it's going to explode. It's going to give me the platform to start watering all these other plants. You see a lot of people that make the mistake and just try to spread all the water everywhere, and it's like you kind of thin yourself out, water it down, so to speak. No pun intended.
Right. You said EP, so you're gonna rap?
Yeah. So it's like before I came out
Drake?
here.
Yeah, it's very Drake-ish.
Here the Drake joke start, right?
I'm just kidding, Drake. I mean Tyler.
Funny, right?
That's so Drake.
But it was like, you know what? Before I came out here, actually, me and my friend put down like 150 songs in like a 4-month span. So it's like we were really kicking them out. And I mean, I have all of them right now. But again, I want to perfect them and whatnot, and I don't want to seem any type of way. I don't want to just do it because I can right now. I want to do it the right way. So, in due time, all that stuff is going to happen. But it's like you got to take one step at a time. You have to really understand the process. Each step is very important.
Right.
You're right.
Who are some actors that you dream of working with someday?
Definitely Denzel. I've always been a huge Denzel fan. Definitely want to work with Denzel. I would love to work with Meryl Streep. She's great.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and I want to work with, who else I want to work with? I would like to work with Michael B. Jordan too, because he's like a peer.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all peers, but he's like an age mate. He's, you know what I'm saying? I really respect his work. I love what he's doing in Hollywood, and I would like to work with him as well.
Do you prefer TV or film?
I don't really have, at this point, I don't have a preference because I'm learning. I still have so much to learn. I mean, if I had to answer, I'd pick television because I love my home right now. Like, I love going and working on that set.
Right.
I haven't had too much experience in films yet. Yeah, I've done a couple independent ones, and I spent 2 days on Baggage Claim. But right now, television. But I mean, I enjoy being in front of the camera. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So just based off of everything that you've accomplished so far, right? How would you say that your life lessons and your childhood and stuff like that in Philly have helped you out with your career?
First of all, if I'd have got all this money and all this attention right now, I had never been humbled before, you wouldn't like the person you saw. I was way too arrogant. You have to understand, like, everything was given to me when I was younger. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why you see these cats, not necessarily like in a money standpoint, but like, you see these, you've seen people before that have all this money and, their nose is up in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the same thing with, like, if someone gives you power, like, I'm like the football star. I got all girls. Like, I'm not worried about none. You know what I mean? It just changes your demeanor.
Right.
So it's like, if I didn't go through any of that, you probably wouldn't like the person that I was. It was just too much. I wasn't as humble as I was.
Yeah.
It's a big reason why I'm so mature, as we spoke about earlier. It helps me. It helps me when I'm in rooms now. I can really communicate with people. I listen before I talk. Really small stuff that you're supposed to learn when you're growing up. And for me, I did learn that growing up. So for me, I wouldn't change it for the world because at the end of the day, it was like a slap on the wrist. But at the time, it was the severity of it was very real. And because it was so real, it helped me learn that lesson. And then when I got out of it, it was okay because it was just like a slap on the wrist. So all in all, I couldn't thank God more for it. So it definitely helped me with where I'm at today.
That's a blessing, man. So the ladies must know. Are you single, taken, dating, what?
I'm single right now. You know what? I have someone that I do care about.
Okay.
I do. But for me, this is another very focused thought. I'm very calculated. Like, I'm still finding out who I am at 26 years old, right? The one thing I do know about women is what they need, what they deserve, right? If I was going to make you my girlfriend, you would have to be my number one priority, right? It's how it should be. That's how a good relationship is supposed to work. You don't want to have a girlfriend and you kind of brush her to the side because I'm trying to do this. That's not really, that's not what a gentleman does, and that's not what a real relationship is supposed to be like. So because I understand that, I would be lying if I told any woman you'd be my number one priority right now. Not as a disrespectful thing. It's just a very focused thought. I'm very focused on what I'm doing, and I know I think this is like my calculation on my gamble. I feel like at 35. Even though breaking into the industry or finding someone to settle down with, both of them could be hard at 35. But which one is going to be harder? Like breaking into an industry at 35 years old, or or finding someone to try to settle down with. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like it would be harder at 35, age-wise, everything. I mean, come on, talking about Hollywood here. They talk about you like you're old when you're 29. It's crazy. Yeah. So for me, I'm really understanding this opportunity that I have right now. So I'm choosing to put 100% into it as opposed to 85, and then have 15 over here as my girlfriend, because that's not fair for this girlfriend who only has 15% of my time. It's just not fair. Right. So, right now, and it's also hard because I'm very capable of loving. My parents are still together. I have a very great example of what real love is like. I see it every day. Or, I talk to them every day. And when I'm over there, I see it every day. So, it can be difficult at times because, like I said, I have, a big heart. I can love very easily. But for right now, I'm choosing not to have a girlfriend so I can focus on what I feel is important.
It's deep stuff.
It is.
All right. Well, we like to play games here.
Yeah, let's play a game.
next, and we have a really fun game for you.
Yeah. Okay.
We are going to test your Tyler Perry movie knowledge.
Oh, you messed up. You're trying to get me in trouble.
You better
Tyler's
score
watching too,
100%
so make
on
sure.
this.
Oh shoot! Hold on.
Wait a minute. No. You got to put your phone
What's
down.
up? No, I'm not. No, I'm sorry. I had like 5 missed calls. I just wanted to check them real quick. Go ahead, though.
All right, so we're going to read you the description of the movie,
Okay.
and you will give us the name. And if you don't get 100% on this,
Listen, first things first, I'm not getting 100% on this. There's no way I'm going to get 100%. Go
Steven,
ahead.
can we get some of that game show Jeopardy music?
Oh, shoot.
There we go. You ready for this,
Crazy.
Tyler?
Yes, I am.
All right, this first one's a little easy.
Okay.
We'll start off easy. 4 couples go on a couples retreat. This also has a sequel.
Why did I get married?
There you
Oh,
Oh, come on. That's easy.
I
That's
told you the first
easy.
one was easy.
Okay.
You got a
100% so far.
one for one.
All right, let's shut this down with 100%. It's like, I'm
All right.
just kidding.
Oh.
Here we go. There we go. Waiting on
So
y'all.
Perry's downtown Abbey tale of 2 families, one wealthy and one working
The
class.
haves and the have-nots.
No, this
Nope,
is
it's a movie.
Oh, I know what it is. I already know what it is.
Which one?
A Family That Prays.
There you go. Okay, good job.
All right, here we go.
There we go. 100%.
Based on 1970s Tony-nominated play,
Oh.
this is the only Perry movie that is not branded as such, but does have a star-studded female cast.
All the ladies are in this one.
I know what this is.
Is the 100 dropping down?
No, I know what it is. Oh my God, I know what this is.
It's okay to be 75%. Don't worry about it.
90.
How much more
Or
time?
give
How
it
much more
eight-
time
eight-
do I have?
Hint. There's a bunch of
Yeah,
colors.
Can I have a
15
hint?
seconds.
There's a bunch of colors.
Oh, you don't get it from
Michael
that.
Ealy drops kids.
I know what this is.
Whoopi Goldberg's in it.
Yeah, and so is
Tandy Newton.
so is the
Tandy
woman.
Newton.
So is Rashad. Yes. I know what this movie is.
But you
so
don't.
is
You don't know the title.
There's
So-
a lot of colors.
Okay.
Look at you.
Okay.
Oh,
You
man.
should have used that
See?
Google.
I can. No, it's not. It's not. I can do battle by myself.
Nope.
No.
Four.
Okay. Is it the countdown?
There's a lot of colors.
And there's girls.
All right, he already
girls.
missed it. 4
Yeah.
colored girls.
Oh, 4 color girl. That's what it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Alrighty.
I'm supposed to know that.
Hey, you got to be a Tyler Perry expert.
Right. No, that was good.
Where were we at? We're at
Pretty
2
good.
out of 3 right now.
Right.
Yeah.
2 out of
Right.
3.
Not too bad.
A movie about a fallen woman turning her life around.
You already
Come
named
on. How many?
You already named it. You
characters?
already named it.
How many characters? What? I already named it.
Yeah.
You're wrong the last time.
How many characters what?
How many characters are like that in some of his stuff? A woman that turns her life around. Come on.
But Taraji P.
Can't-
Henson.
Oh,
You already named
I just said
it.
it. What does it start with? What does it start with? I already said it. First of all. Oh, I could do battle by myself. Okay.
That's like a half point.
No,
I'm
it's not.
sorry.
I already said it.
That's a half.
You should get this one. This was Tyler Perry's debut feature film and the first entry in the Medea franchise.
Oh, Medea's Big
Nope.
Nope.
Happy
Nope.
Family.
No, but before that one.
Kimberly
Medea's
Lee
Family
is in it.
Reunion.
Nope.
No, before that one.
Kimberly
doesn't even
Lee's
start with
Shamar
Medea.
Moore. Kimberly Lee's.
It was
Shamar
the very
Moore.
first.
When you have something to write, you write this in a something secretive.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Got it. See? I just had to,
So
I had to
you
think about
weren't-
it a little bit. I bet.
You didn't
I
get
only got
100%.
one wrong.
You got
though.
2 wrong.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you
no, I
did.
didn't.
One and a
You
half.
gave me half a
Technically.
point. I got that right.
All right. We want to just take a little bit of time to give you some bragging rights and tell us
Let's do it.
what's next for you, where can we expect to see you next, promote anything you want to promote, let us know how we could stalk you.
So next we have the next season of the Have to Have Nots. We're leaving next Thursday to go down and film it. On Wednesday, we're going to have the screening for Baggage Claim. That's going to come out September 27th. So you guys will be able to go check that out. When I get back is going to be pilot season. So at this point, it's really, right now I'm really sticking to my process. I could get back. This is a nice. Right now the rate we're going, it's like two seasons per calendar year. They're about 2.5, maybe 3 months apiece, right? 5 to 6 months a year, and 2 seasons worth of money. It's a good chunk of time. It's a good chunk of money. I could sit on it. You know what I mean? But I'm choosing not to, because that's not the process that got me here. I didn't just like sit on those 2 little movies and just look at IMDb and just look at my 2 credits. I chose, you know what I mean? I chose to be proactive in it. So that's what I'm gonna continue to do. Right now, I can't go out for too many series regular roles because I'm locked into a contract to do that. But I can still go out for movies. I can still go out for like guest star roles and like commercials. So that's what I'm really going to try to put my foot on the pedal to go and get. And it's going to help me try to transition to what I want to eventually anyway, which is is big time movies. Exactly. So, for right now, you'll continue to see me in the Have-Nots, the movie that's coming out, Baggage Claim. This season is going to air in January. So like you'll be able to watch me in these places while I'm, continuing on my process. But for right now, it's like, at 26, I've had some success. I want to pat myself on the back. I never want to, sit here and seem like I'm unappreciative of what's going on. I am all day, always. I always pray to God about it. I'm thankful for it. But it is only a first step. You know what I mean? So where you guys will see me is continue to stick to my process and just book more and more things. I mean, I'm very fresh in the game, 2 years. You know what I mean? So I just want to continue to get better. You'll definitely catch me at Ivana Chubbuck Studios every week. I mean, I'm putting serious work in down there, and I'm trying to develop something that's naturally gifted in me and be great at it. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm good, but I'm really far from where I want to be. Yeah. So you'll definitely catch me just sticking to the process.
Well, we'll be looking out for you.
Yeah,
We
cool.
wish you the best of
Thank you
luck.
so
Tell us
much.
where we could find you online.
Well, my number is just like,
Hold on.
So you can find me. The best way is social media wise. My Instagram and my Twitter handles are the same, pretty easy. At TYLEPLEY at Tyler Lepley. No spaces, no underscores, or anything. It's just my name. Or you could like my official Facebook page but Tyler Lepley with a space.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
thanks
so-
for joining us today,
Thanks so much
Tyler.
for
We had a lot
having
of
me.
fun with you.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I've never done a game like that. I've
Yeah,
never
hopefully
heard-
next time you'll ace it.
Yeah, right.
Pretty good.
Just don't tell Tyler I
You
got
did
an
all
Asian
right. I'm
Tweet
sending
him right
a
now.
tweet to Tyler.
Dope.
Well, thanks for joining us. Find me on Twitter at I am Jessica King. Where can we find you guys?
As always, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream.
Find me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue.
Thanks for joining us today for Black Hollywood Live Next. We'll see you next time. No pun intended.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.